filter room gallery at the museum is a recreation of how the room would have looked at the start of World War II before it was moved down into the bunker. The role of the filter room was to analyse, as accurately as possible, raid information coming in from radar stations around the British coast. The filtered information was sent to operations rooms at Bentley Priory, group headquarters and at sector level, where it was used to scramble squadrons at the right position and height to ensure successful interception of enemy aircraft. The Women's Auxiliary Air Force played a crucial support role to the RAF during and after the Battle of Britain. Formed in June 1939, the primary aim was to recruit women to fill routine roles to release men for frontline duties. However, as war progressed, women proved themselves to be highly capable and were soon encouraged to work in a range of occupations, including key positions in the Dowding system. Many women worked here at RAF Bentley Priory in both the filter room and operations room. The female models in this gallery are based on real WAAFs who served during World War II. There were a number of crucial roles which women were trained to do. Plotters were responsible for plotting raid information received from radar stations on the filter room map table, which they did with coloured counters. Plots could change frequently as more information arrived, and the activity around the map table often became frenetic as the plotters kept pace. The filterer had the difficult job of filtering the raid information on the map table from different radar stations. They had to gather all this information together, then try to find a pattern and assess the most likely scenario, such as whether information related to one plot or more than one, and also the height, range and direction or heading that it was flying. Finally, it was the job of the teller to report the filtered information to operations rooms. This would have been done by telephone. In all of this, the language used had to be clear, concise and unambiguous. Standing with her hands on her hips is Eileen Younghusband. Eileen joined the WAAF in April 1941 after her cousin, a fighter pilot, was killed. She trained as a plotter at the training facility in Leighton Buzzard. Eileen arrived at RAF Bentley Priory in September 1943, working as a filterer with a focus on V2 bombing raids. Leaning across the table on the left is Joan Arundel. Joan joined the WAAF at the beginning of the war, learning on the job at RAF Bentley Priory. It was all such a new venture when she started that initially she didn't have a uniform. She wore her own clothes and was given an armband with WAAF written on it. She worked as a plotter, moved to teller and then corporal in a matter of weeks. Leaning across the table on the right is Patricia Clark. Patricia joined the WAAF in 1940 and trained at Leighton Buzzard to become a plotter and teller. Later in the war, she was posted to 11 Group to track and calculate launch sites of incoming V2 bombs. Standing on the balcony is a model based on the likeness of Gladys Eva. Gladys joined the WAAF in February 1940 after seeing an advert in the Evening News. She began as the leading aircraft woman and progressed to flight sergeant. Gladys was stationed at RAF Bentley Priory from March 1940 until May 1941. She worked in the filter room, firstly as a plotter and then as a teller. Gladys recalls, "The plots were coming through from the radar stations. They were very quick. I always say they were the key people. Their accuracy was absolute, of the utmost importance. So was ours, of course, but it was all speed. I mean, we were just so busy, we had very little time off, and naturally it was stressful all the time, emotionally, physically. We knew it was highly, highly important, and accuracy, speed, they were the things that were absolutely vital, and you couldn't make a mistake."